It's already going.
Huh?
It's already going.
What? It's time for what? To do this?
We're standing in front of the camera. Of
Oh.
course, it's time to do this, and that is not gonna get edited out.
Oh my
I'm
goodness.
keeping that in there because I'm just tired of like people making content like it's so perfect. Like they don't make any
And take
mistakes.
all the bloopers out.
Take the bloopers out. Just make it look perfect. Make the lighting look just right. Put the noise gates on there to make it seem like it's just everything is just right. It's just perfect. Like no, it's not perfect because some people have to take multiple takes when they make videos. Like remember, like when they make movies.
Yeah.
And like the director got like the little thing, you go, action, and they do that like hundreds of times when they make movies.
Yeah.
So nobody ever gets it right the first time. It's just.
No, that's why you have to edit. I mean, who goes straight through to a video without being edited?
I mean, there's sometimes I can make videos without editing. It depends.
Yeah.
It depends. Like sometimes, like for my YouTube videos, I'll be on a roll, and then my throat will get dry, and I have to like cough.
Yeah.
Or hack or something like that. And I
out.
had to like cut
You
that
ain't gonna
out.
leave it on.
No way am I lit. No. If it's like live, you get what you get. But for the most part, I can shoot a straight through video. If I got notes and an idea, I can do it. Now I remember there was a time you were making a video.
Yeah.
Remember the video a couple years ago you were making for like, I don't know, like you were like doing like an entry and you were like making a video like a.
Oh yeah.
You remember you had made it all of us go in the living room and you shut the door.
Yeah.
And you made like 20 videos just to say like it was like a minute.
Well, I have to do that because I have to make when I make videos. I don't care if I mess up. I know I'm gonna mess up anytime, so I had to edit it as I make a video. So.
I mean, who cares? I mean, as long as you get the point across and you finish it, edit it. I mean, nobody's perfect.
Yeah.
Right. So, and that's just the whole point. So, but anyway, we are back. Now I know we said we weren't gonna do this.
Yeah, but it's been what?
No,
November?
No, I'm saying like I know we said we weren't going to be like
taking a break
where we've been.
Oh yeah,
and all of that different type of stuff. Like
just get straight to the video because I know people get tired. Like every time they make a video and they be gone for a while, they always saying where they've been and all this stuff. That's why I like.
Well, but this is where we keep it real at. This is what we're gonna be. This is what I'm gonna say to everybody out there. We are parents of not one, not two, but 3 boys.
Yeah.
Right. And we work quite a bit. I mean, my days, I get up at sometimes 3:45 a.m., 4 a.m., just to be at work at 4:45, 5 o'clock. And sometimes I don't have it. Like, she'll tell you.
Yeah.
I'm so beat. I'm so worn out. I'm so tired that I feel like I can't even really do anything like for myself. Like play a video game or watch a show.
Same here.
You know what I'm saying? Like we used to play games like all the time. We haven't played it except for if you want to count the other night. We played a little Super Nintendo
Well, that does
game.
count.
It does count because before that it was probably like going on by almost 2 months since we done anything.
Yeah, it's like I was telling you. Like I bought a game back in December. And I haven't even played it, touch it yet, because I've been so busy with other stuff.
And all you did was talk about that game. Like
I did. I was talking about that game.
She talked about that game
until it came out, and then I bought it, and I haven't even touched it yet.
She like months before it was supposed to come out. She like kept talking about it over and over and over. Finally got it, and ain't even touch it.
No, the only thing I did was install it, and that's it.
Yeah,
I'm
guilty too, though. Remember, I got Resident Evil 4. and Final Fantasy 16, which I just started
And you got
a
that for your
few weeks ago.
birthday?
Got that for my birthday. That was like back in November, and then Resident Evil was 4. I was like,
Around
man,
the same time, because it was on sale.
yeah, and I got that, and then and just was very slow. My point is that we're so busy that things like this, it feels like it's impossible to fit it in your schedule.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're somebody out there that's a parent, and if you're married, and you understand that the little time that you do have, it's either you're going to be laying across the bed or on the couch resting, or giving that time to, your spouse.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like we do that a lot,
Yeah.
right? Like how much time do we spend together?
From the time we take the kids to school until the time to pick them up. So that's basically like 7, 8 hours. So yeah.
Yeah,
Then it'd be more. So
yeah. So I mean, like, unlike some people, like we're blessed to be able to say that we can spend a good chunk of the day together, because a lot of times, husband goes off to work, wife goes off to work, or she's home and he's just gone for like 8 to 10 hours. That's not really my case.
Yeah.
I got time periods where I get up and I go, and then I can come back home after about, I don't know, maybe about 3 hours or so, and then I come pick her up and then work some more, and then we'll spend like the remainder of the morning together.
Yeah.
We'll work out, and sometimes we'll go get breakfast or lunch, and then it's the kids, and then it's all about them.
That's it.
At that point.
Yep.
So that's people always ask, like, what do you do in your spare time? Like, there is no spare time. What do you do on the weekend? Rest.
That's it. I feel like the weekends is like the rest day, because you work during the week so much. You be busy during the week. So when the weekend come, we either go to the gym or do a little bit of shopping, and then we just rest on Sunday for the rest of, all day. So
yeah, and today wasn't the rest day.
No,
we didn't. We usually don't do anything on Sunday. We go to church, and then
you just come home and take a nap, and
that's it.
That's it.
Yeah, but yesterday we didn't work out, and today, we kind of wanted to make up for that. So we went to church, we went out to eat, and then we came home, rest for a little bit.
Yep.
You went to sleep.
I did. I took a little nap, and then you woke me up.
Yeah, she went to sleep. And then after that, we just went to the gym for a little bit, and then a couple of stores. And I came home doing some work, writing some programs. And then she's like, "Are we gonna do the thing?"
Might as well. We might as well do it. We've been talking about making this video for a couple of weeks now. It's like, why don't we get going before I do what I need to do?
Yeah.
For an hour or two. So.
Right. And the thing is, we actually enjoy doing these podcasts when we are able to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel bad for like not putting out content a little bit more frequently, because I put out so much content with my main channel, but we're here.
Yeah.
And that's it. So we're gonna try our best. We're gonna really try our best to at least provide a video once a week.
Once a week.
At least
we said
once
it
a
before,
week.
but we're gonna try and do this once a week.
At least once a week. So, any of the older podcasts that you may not have seen, go back and check those out, and let us know what you think. And we're taking it seriously because we got some little fancy mics here that I purchased almost about a month ago. Really, really good quality. They're not like the other ones. The little cheap mics that we told y'all about that we were gonna replace, and we bought, and you gotta hold it up here.
Yeah, I got
just so you could be heard. Like, if y'all remember the first episode, you could hear me well, but then you could barely hear her, because with those mics, it's got to be all in your mouth just to be able to hear.
But we did good with our other mics that we have.
Oh yeah, those gosh, of course, those are like. That's
high price.
Yeah,
mics.
yeah. You know what they say. The more that you pay for something, the more that the better the quality, so to speak. So, but in today's podcast, we are going to be talking about
Marriage.
She sounded like she had to think about that for a second. She said,
No, it's like
marriage? Yeah. I'm not getting on your nerves.
yes.
I'm not gonna do it. That's okay. It's got to be something that keep you coming back.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Stop. Yeah. We're gonna be talking about marriage. I feel like we are qualified to talk about this, despite this youthful look. You know, we got some miles on us, so to speak.
It don't look it though.
It doesn't look like it. You know, she is. I mean, I don't want to throw your age out there, but
It doesn't matter.
she's stepping into a whole nother decade in
About
June.
yeah, in June.
You know,
Few months.
without you would have never guessed that this coming June that she is turning 50.
I'm not turning no 50. No.
It's okay. I mean, if as long as you don't look like it, it's gonna be okay. 50. I mean, wow. Like I feel amazing to be as young as I am and have a woman your age.
Oh my goodness. This is what I gotta put up with.
I'm joking. I'm joking. You want to tell everybody how old you're gonna really be?
I'll actually be 40.
40 years old.
40 in June.
Don't even look it.
No.
Don't even. Not a day over 28, in my opinion. Not a day over 28.
I tell you, like we was talking about, we was in the car the other day, and I see a piece of gray string in my head, and you basically noticeable, like it's right in my middle of my head.
I see it. I'm looking right at it.
Yeah, so
it's there.
It was not there last year.
No,
I don't remember that being there.
It wasn't there 6 months ago.
No, well, no, about a year or less, it was not there.
Yeah.
But now it's starting to notice.
Yeah, it's there. It's right there.
I see.
Here.
It's everywhere.
Right there.
It's all in there. Once I
got a lot too, folks. I mean, I got it all right here. You know, she says don't diet, so I'm gonna listen. Fellas, listen to your wife because you know, she knows best. Okay. And you should only care about what she thinks anyway.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, in all seriousness, you know, we were talking about this a couple of days ago while we were in the car. You know, we have most of our conversations in the car. And I said, you know, let's talk about marriage, you know, with the podcast. You know, there's a couple of different parts to this I want to talk about. Not in this podcast. You know, there's the issue of divorce. There's the issue of remarriage.
Mm-hmm.
Those are like different topics for a whole different day. I don't really want to bring that up right now because I just know that, you know, it's a double-edged sword. It can go one way or another. We want to talk about the institution of marriage, what it is, what it truly means to God, and the importance of it, and really just how to stay married. Like, when you get married, the goal should be to stay married, right?
Yep. Stay married with the person you told your vows to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stay together.
Mm-hmm.
Stay together. Like, I think that people, we talked about when you get married, you know, the pastor or whoever, you know, marries you gives you those vows.
Yeah.
You know, through sickness and health. You know, through death, to death do you part. Right? So, you know, let's bring it back a little bit through sickness and health. Like you see those couples that are together and they're healthy, they're having fun, they're traveling, and they're just enjoying themselves and just smiling and, you know, just happiness. But, you know, the thing is that people don't talk about a lot is, you know, there are some cases where something happens to the spouse.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like something like one of them may get ill and, you know, they just aren't able to do the things that they used to do.
Yeah, you're supposed to stick by your spouse. I seen a video where it was a couple, one of the wife had cancer and the husband stayed with her through the whole process. So, even though she passed away, but he was there the whole time. You got some people that don't want to do that. They don't want to stick through it, which
Yeah.
is wrong. You should always stick by your spouse, even though they're going through hard times.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, because that's a part of the vows that you take.
mm,
It's not, when you get sick, oh, I got to get out of this situation. I got to bail. I'm like, first of all, you don't really love that person like you say you did. And second of all, you clearly didn't understand what it means to be married if you feel like at the first sight of danger or an issue for you to just run.
yeah.
Like, that's cowardice, that's selfish, that's just wrong.
Mm-hmm.
It's wrong. And I've seen many stories where, something would happen to the spouse and then the other spouse would just completely get into caregiver mode and then defense mode to take care of this person that
Yeah.
they said, I have vowed to give my life to you forever, to protect you, to provide for you, to just be there in the good and the bad times. And that is what marriage is.
Mm-hmm.
And the problem, I think, in today's society is that there's a lot of people that they're just getting married left and right, and not really understanding what they're doing. Like, I think I like this person when it actually could be lust or just infatuation.
Yeah.
And some people don't know what that means. Like, infatuation is like, there's something about the person that I'm attracted to that I like, but I'm not willing to give them like that part of me that's willing to commit. And if you're not willing to give that part of you that's willing to commit, you can't say you love them, but it's in fact infatuation.
Yeah.
That's what it is. And I think that there's a lot of people that like certain attributes about people, and then they just say, okay, well, let's just get married, just because. And I'm like, well, that alone is wrong. Like, I feel like you got to spend some serious time with somebody to say, hey, let's get married.
Yeah, I don't see how people can be together for 6 months and then get married. You don't get a chance to know the person you with, because that's like 6 months. That's like starting date, Like, you should have like within 2 years to get to know each other. Then say, hey, let's get married, if it's the right one for you. That's how I see it. I mean, even though it took us like how long? 8 years to get married.
Yeah,
So,
8 years.
yeah.
And y'all heard right. 8 years we dated each other, because that's all it was, at the time. Like, we were, in an 8-year relationship, committed to, each other, and but I remember earlier in our relationship, I proposed to you 6 months in.
Yeah.
It was October we met in February?
No.
Hold on, no. That's when we started
At
dating.
the end of February.
We met each other in February, and we started dating like the end of
The middle of March.
The middle of March. Okay, well, the middle of March, and then I proposed to you October of 2004. Now this is stuff nobody know. Okay, we really being vulnerable right now. We don't really talk about this stuff at all. That's why I'm like sitting here trying to recollect those memories, because it's been so long.
It's been like 20 years.
Yeah, 20 years next month. And I proposed to you. And we were very young, by the way. I was 18, she was 19. So I'm like, I want to marry her. Like, that's just. Did I really mean that at the time? Probably not. I was a kid, and this was somebody that I felt strongly about. You're that young, you around somebody, like, you really, really, really like this person. And we spent lots of time together, but there was a lot of issues too, like a whole. We're not gonna get into everything. We don't
Yeah.
make the episode too long, but
Yeah.
and we got to keep some stuff to ourselves too.
Yeah.
So, but we went through a lot of issues throughout the earlier part of our relationship that that didn't even scream marriage,
Yeah.
at all. 8 years of just drama and
A
problems.
lot of stuff that most relationship has.
Yeah, problems. Like whatever y'all have been through, we done been through it too.
Yep.
Like there's just no, we're not special. I was talking to somebody the other day about this. This woman was like, I really admire relationships when marriage is like yours and Marquita's. And I told her, I'm like, well, we we went through a whole lot,
Yeah.
just to get to where we are right now. So it wasn't like love at first sight. And
It wasn't perfect. So
yeah, it wasn't perfect. And we just up here laughing now, but there were some times we weren't laughing.
yeah.
We were not laughing at all. But we can look back on it now and kind of like laugh at it and reflect and just ultimately thank God, because there's nobody but the Lord that has fixed issues between us and problems between us that we didn't think that could be fixed, but he did, and has given us the privilege of being closer.
Yeah.
Like I feel like we're closer than, and we talked about this in the previous podcast, I believe, but I just say it again because that previous podcast was like, I don't know, a long
Months
time
ago.
ago. No, I'm like around the first or second episode, but I feel like we're closer,
Yeah.
now than we were before. So, but yeah, after 8 years of getting to know each other pretty deeply, we decided to get married, March 30th of 2012.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're here, and that anniversary is coming up
Next month.
next month. I'm excited.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we should vlog that
I mean,
or something.
I don't have a problem with that. If you want to,
Or whatever. We'll see what happens.
we say that now. We say it
We
now.
forget about it.
We say that now, and we be like, I don't know
Yeah.
about this. I just kind of want to relax and chill.
The way you already planned it out, like, okay.
Yeah, because I'm trying to like plan it out now.
Yeah.
It's an entire day of just us with no kids, and I'm ready. I am ready. So, marriage. I got, if y'all see me looking down, I got the phone here. I just wanted to read, just this article, just talking about, what marriage is in the Bible. Now, let's just establish that you cannot separate God from marriage. You can't, because he's the one that created marriage. So what I mean by that is, it doesn't matter if you're like a non-Christian, a Muslim, a Buddhist, atheist, Christian. It don't matter. Judaism, a Jew. If you get married, God sees it. He's going to consider that to be marriage.
Yeah.
So there is no doing this without the Lord. Like, you get married in the church or in an alley, it doesn't matter.
No.
Because God still sees it, and he's going to be like, okay, that's the deal. That is what you've chosen to do. So marriage in the Bible, I'm reading this article. It says marriage is a sacred vow between a man and a woman to become one flesh, as the scriptures say. God's view of marriage is the divine plan for sexual relationships to secure stable families and committed parents and spouses. The Bible provides numerous verses that give guidance for married couples, husbands, wives, newlyweds, the engaged. Scriptures offer valuable wisdom and advices whether you are considering a dating relationship, planning a wedding, or finding marriage struggles. let's look at a few of our favorite Bible verses about marriage and its importance. So there's a little bit more, as far as like, marriage. There's a prayer for marriage, but I'm not going to read, the prayer for marriage. But what I am going to read is a couple of verses here that, I wanted to share. Genesis 2, verse 24 says, "Therefore a man shall leave his father and his mother and hold fast to his wife, and they shall become one flesh." Now, it doesn't say married and it doesn't say marriage or holy matrimony, but that is the institution of marriage right there. It says a man shall leave his father and his mother and hold fast to his wife, and they shall become one flesh. Man, woman. That's marriage. Not, let me just be clear. Nothing outside of that is considered to be marriage. Nothing. A man and a woman. Now, you can take that for whatever it is, but that is scripture. You will not find anything else in the Bible that supports anything other than a man and a woman becoming one flesh. That's marriage.
Mm.
Okay. The covenant of marriage. So when two people get married, let me just go ahead and give you just some. I don't have the verses, but if you want to check it, you can. Just the biblical view of it. We've talked about this a while back. So the church is the bride of Christ, and Jesus is the husband, and he's married to the church. So the church is Jesus' wife. A husband, like a man, is an illustration of Jesus, and a man's wife is an illustration of the church. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
That is why marriage is so important to God, because when he looks at, like, example, he looks at me and he looks at you, and we're together. He looks at me like, I'm the head of my wife. Like Jesus is the head of the church. I'm married to my wife. Like Jesus is married to the church.
Mm-hmm.
And it is a covenant. Now, some people don't know what that word means. Like a covenant it's a sealed in blood deal is what it is. And by blood, like Old Testament, New Testament, Jesus shed his blood on the cross to create the new covenant. And some people say New Testament. Just take the word testament out and say the word new covenant between us and him. So we are bought with him. We belong to him. We are one in Christ. It's the body of Christ. And it's the same thing with marriage. A wife is bound to her husband forever. Like, it doesn't matter whether you have ups and downs. It doesn't matter whether there's disagreements. It doesn't matter whether you like me today or not, or I like you. Like, we're supposed to do everything that we possibly can to stay together. I mean, I know you sitting up here. I feel like I'm like, she's like, I know she's probably like, well, what more can I add to that? I don't want this to turn into a sermon, because this is supposed to be, dialogue between us.
Yeah.
Everything that I just said, I'm sure that, you're in agreement with, but do you think that most people look at it like that deep?
No, most people don't look at it like that deep. Because, sometimes most people, they get married, stay together for a few years, and when they don't have no connection, they cut it off, and thinking that they can just be with another person, thinking it can be the same way or better. So people don't look in too deep like that. Not what I don't think.
So you said that people they get married
Mm-hmm.
and then after a couple of years, I mean,
Maybe a couple of years or whenever,
you
you
said
should know when you have that connection with that person. When I feel like when people get married, it's at that happiest moment,
yeah.
and then after a while, they probably lose, connection together. Like there's nothing there for them no more, because they haven't got a chance to know each other before marriage. That's what I think.
Okay.
So
So 2 times, not once but twice.
yeah.
You said that they lose connection.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you think causes the disconnection?
Something distracting them.
Something distracting them,
Yeah.
like what?
It could be anything. Like, I mean, just say some people. Let's say some people probably hanging out with friends, or the spouses don't take care of each other like they're supposed to, and then when there's no connection or love there, then they just it's not right for them. So
Yeah. They anytime there's like a disconnection, I say disconnection causes dysfunction,
mm-hmm.
like 100%. Like when there's no like connection, there's no eye to eye.
You're not happy no more
You're
with
not
each other.
happy, and it leaves room for problems.
Yeah.
It leaves room for errors. Like I remember you the other day you told me, I mean they're not married, but you told me there was an incident with somebody that
Mm-hmm.
that ended up that said that, she didn't have a connection or didn't feel appreciated at
Mm-hmm.
home,
Yeah.
when she got herself in some trouble because of that. And unfortunately that tends to happen like a lot, like a whole lot within marriages. One spouse is not really holding up their end of the deal. They're not spending proper time. They're not affirming their spouse, meaning, they don't check on them, see how they're doing, what do they need, how can they help them.
Mm-hmm.
We at church today, we're going through a relationship series. One thing I learned from that series last year is that serving your spouse
Yeah.
is what you should be striving to do throughout your marriage.
That's important.
Serving, and that's not talked about. Like it's not. It's just not talked about because the word service, it it sounds bad. Like it's like serve. Like what do you mean serve? Like you want me to just be your butler or be your like maid? Like no, it's not. That's not really the point of service. Serving. It. What the point is, like, what can I do to make you happy?
Mm-hmm.
And this is when the opposite spouse, communicates and tells you, like, what can you do? Okay, well, and don't be afraid. Say it. Like,
Yeah.
what is it that I can do to make you happy?
Mm-hmm.
And then when that comes out, the spouse that asked, it receives that due to the communication, and then they take that and then apply it to the marriage.
Yeah.
So the goal is to have a relationship, marriage, to where your spouse, you are everything they could possibly need and want in a person.
Mm-hmm.
You're everything that you could want. And if that's the case, then I don't see how happiness isn't there. I don't see how the connection wouldn't be there.
Yeah.
If you're serving properly, going out of the way for your spouse. And again, a lot of people they get married and they don't think about that and that nature. Like, what can I do to make this better? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
go ahead. What you gonna say?
Nothing. I was agreeing with you.
But still, you know, I feel like us, like I said, being together for almost 20 years, you know,
We've been
people,
through everything.
yeah, people ask, like, okay, well, what's the secret? Like, what do you do? And to be honest, I mean, getting this far, you just don't know how far you're gonna go. You don't know. Like before we remember when we made it to like 6 months. We remember our first year.
Hmm.
We remember the second year, and then for you know it was 5 years.
Pretty much every year. Then we
Yeah.
didn't probably didn't think we was gonna last a year.
We no we didn't we just didn't
Yeah.
like again when you're that young you're just not really thinking that far ahead. Like I look at us like then, and I look at our son.
Hmm.
He's 17. I'm like, wow. Like we were like, I was literally a year older than him when I met you.
Yeah.
And it's like we look at him, and it's like, oh no, there's no way. Like he doesn't know that this is gonna be his wife in the state that he's in, right? It's just you're a kid, but there. I don't think there's really a secret. I just think it's about being intentional.
Yeah, that's all. There's no secret. It's like us being there for one another,
And
and always have God in your relationship. So, it's important.
which wasn't the case
Mm.
in the beginning.
No, it wasn't.
It was not the case at all. I guess we can say that it was the grace of God that God is sovereign. He knows the ending from the beginning. He knew that we were going to get this right.
Yeah.
He knew that we were going to get married one day. He just knew it. And I would like to think now we are on the same page. I would say,
Yeah.
as far as like our faith,
Mhm.
like she said, putting God first. Because again, God is the institution of marriage is Him.
Mhm.
He created it. How are you going to make a marriage work without God?
You can't.
There's no way that you can make it work without the Lord. You just can't. And I think there's just little bitty things that we do that keep us close together. Like the little text messages.
Yeah.
We'll send.
So we started doing that in the morning time.
Yeah. I mean, that stuff
Yeah.
matters. Like you just imagine you just going on about your day. You open your phone and you just see this message that makes you feel good. Like seriously, that changes. It really does.
It does.
Like it makes me feel good when I see it. And I'm sure.
It does make me feel
Yeah.
good, even though I don't see it like maybe an hour later.
Yeah, you be busy.
Yeah, but I still text back. So
Yeah.
Mhm.
And there's things that I think that again, learning your spouse, learning your partner, learning what they love, learning what they enjoy, and embracing it and supporting it, and then telling them that you support it,
Yeah.
telling them that you appreciate them. Like there's things that I appreciate about you. Like okay, I'll let you think about it
Ugh.
while I tell you about what you appreciate about me. So I think of two things. Sometimes, like I said, she will days that we both work. I come home, she come home. Most of the time, she'll come home before the kids get out of school. Then she goes to pick them up, and
Mhm.
then she will come home with them, and then they immediately start homework. Like she still got her uniform on while she's sitting there doing homework with
Yeah.
them. She hasn't even eaten anything or haven't had a break because a lot of times when they come home, I'm going back to work after about an hour or so. So
Yeah.
I get enough time to like say hello to them and ask them how their day was, and then I gotta go. But for you, I mean, when I see that, it makes me appreciate you like more. Like you're not thinking about you. She hardly ever thinks about herself.
I hard to think about myself because
You
I always
know,
be like, okay, well, if something goes wrong, like, okay, y'all gotta eat first and this and that. I eat last until everybody eats. Y'all get seconds, whatever. I eat whenever it's left over sometimes.
we try to leave you something
But
now.
I think about myself last and
Yeah.
everything else to take care of y'all first. That's just how I do things.
But I do admire that though. How
Mhm.
you just, you don't make any excuses. You'll be tired and
Yeah.
you just do that. And I see that. I'm like, my kids they'll appreciate it too. I always tell her that like when they're grown, they will appreciate everything that you do for them.
Mhm.
You're exercising and teaching them everything to look for in a wife
Mhm.
when you do the things that you do. Like of course, they're not gonna say it now, but there's gonna come a point in time where they just sit back and they're like, "Man, I remember when I was 9 and 10, and my mom did this and they did that, and I sure would like a woman to do that too one day."
Mhm.
So it's everything that you do is gonna come back, and you'll be able to reap what you sowed into those kids
Yeah.
when they're older. So that I appreciate a lot. Um, and the second thing I do was, go to church, and I don't say anything because I don't want to like make you feel awkward, and I don't want to like ruin the moment. But I do this sometimes, like when we're worshiping, and I look at you worshiping, and it's just like it just melts my heart just to see you there just praising God. I'm like, oh my God, like this is this is what I wanted. Like, this is what I want. Like to see that like a godly woman.
I don't think that's like feeling
Like,
awkward or something. That's just how I just start doing it.
or just I don't want to make you feel awkward
Oh
by
no.
like because the moment you feel like someone looking at you, you just gonna be like, go back to like
Yeah.
that. Because I remember like when we first, when we came back to church a couple of years ago, we were like really stiff with that. We were like, I ain't about to put my hands up. Because you start thinking about who's looking at you like you're not supposed to be looking around the church anyway.
Yeah.
Let alone like
Because everybody had
this.
their moment.
Yeah, and how I see it and how I look at it now when I'm worshiping, I said I'm here for God, only God. This is my moment with Him. So I throw my hands up for Him in that moment. Like I don't, I got it out of my mind. Like I'm throwing my hands up, like and thinking that somebody's across the room looking at me like, your
Oh
hands
my.
are up. Ah. Like nobody does that. Well, that's only in my head. That's what I don't think like that anymore. But I'm just saying. But when I see you like that, I'm like, yeah, I love that.
Now I know.
Yeah, you know. What's with this little awkward like pause?
I don't know.
You lost your train of thought. Like, see, I should have
Somewhat.
never said that to her. Now she'd have forgot everything that she was gonna say about me.
Oh, okay. Well, I appreciate you for being the way you are. Even I mean you've been like saved for how long now?
12 years.
12 years, yeah. And I appreciate, even though I was not right behind you, I still appreciate you doing what you're doing, like reading, trying to teach us stuff. And then even though I was like at the beginning part trying to come with you, I still couldn't get it,
Yeah.
But I think it was couple years ago, I'm starting to get it now. And I feel, that's when I baptized again and everything. And we try to do Bible studies together. And that's what, I really enjoy that time because I learned a lot. So that's what I most appreciate you about.
You got to be patient with this one right here.
Yeah.
I could be sitting up there reading. I said, "You
I
understand?"
like, yes.
Oh, I think so.
Yeah, even though he can talk, and it's like I'm trying to put so much stuff in, and it's like so much to put in one time, and it's like, okay, I can get it as long as I go back and read myself.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
mhm,
And I feel like, again, that helps the marriage. Studying the Word of God.
mhm,
Whether it's lessons about marriage or just something completely different that you're just studying
mhm.
with the Bible. So I mean, I appreciate you for saying that. It just makes me more, um, just motivates me more to, to take it more. I mean, I take it seriously, of course, but to know that, you appreciate it, it helps.
Mhm.
And this is why it's important to communicate and affirm how you truly feel
Mhm.
about the things that your spouse does. Because what I like to say is that, we're not mind readers. I don't know how you feel.
Yeah.
I can take a guess, but I don't know how you feel or what you think unless you say it. And the same with me.
Mhm.
You pretty much can tell how I feel.
Yeah.
I'm just very just outspoken, and it's hard for me to like hide how I feel. She could tell when I'm mad, which is not often. I don't get mad often. She could tell when I'm like feeling down or when I'm tired. She could tell when I'm happy, because I can't hide it.
Yep.
But I can also tell with you too. I can tell when something bothers you. And your communication has gotten better over time. And I think that to drive this home, because we're gonna come to the end of this year. To drive this home is that marriage is work.
It's a lot of work.
It is a lot. It is a lifetime commitment.
Mhm.
It is not temporary. It is not for a season. It is a lifetime commitment, which means that anything that's supposed to last a lifetime requires work, hard work,
Yeah.
diligence, persistence, and intentionality. Is work. You will always feel like you're learning your spouse because we're not the same people. Like we're not the same as we were at 18 and 19.
Yeah.
We're not the same as we were at 28 and 29. We're not the same now at 38 and 39. We're just not the same. And I feel like we're getting better with age.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting to have this conversation at 48 and 49.
I feel like different. Every decade is different. I think we mature more each decade. That's what I feel like.
Yeah, because when you accept that this is it, you wanna go out with a bang. Like you wanna give it your all. Like
Yep.
you don't wanna hold back. Like I don't hold back as a husband. I don't feel like I hold back. Like I try my best to be a good husband.
Mhm.
Like I really do try to be a good husband. Comparing to where I was 20 years ago, you know, I feel like,
Yeah.
I've come a long way. And you
We all
have too,
did. Mhm.
so have you. You've grown a whole lot,
Yeah.
over the course of 20 years. Like you've grown over the course of 2 years. I say like the last two and a half
Couple
to 3
years.
years, I've seen like the most growth
Yeah.
out of you, the most. And that's the type of stuff that, if you're married out there and you notice that your spouse is changing for the better, tell them that they're changing for the better. Let them know that because there's just something about hearing it from the other person.
Mhm.
Like I got a good friend who upstate, who said something a while back. He was like, he said my friends and my coworkers always, tell me you're such a hard worker and this and that. But then when the person, when his partner, his girlfriend told him that, it was different. like it made him, it really just charged him up
Yeah.
to hear her say it. And I think that that's just it right there. Like your boss can tell you good job, or a church member can say, you know, you're doing great. But for me to say, I think that you are doing amazing and I appreciate you for your hard work, that's going to hit different.
Yeah. Because that's the person you're going to be with.
Yes.
Because you're not going to be with your coworkers or your friends or whoever, They can tell you good job at your job. But then it's different when your spouse, your boyfriend, girlfriend tells you that,
I mean, because think about how that sounds. Like you're hearing that you're doing great everywhere else but home.
Yeah.
Well, how does that look?
It don't look right.
It don't look good at all. Like,
No.
dang, everybody notice it, but the person that I'm with doesn't see it, doesn't notice it. And that is the type of stuff that creates like wedges and disconnections and problems. This is why you got to talk to your spouse. Talk. Let them know, I love you. I appreciate you for what you do. Sometimes it's not about doing things for somebody. Like, it's not about buying things.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I'll say it. Like, because I don't think we've made a podcast for Christmas, I don't think.
No, we didn't.
Yeah, we had a really good Christmas. We had a very good Christmas. This is probably the best Christmas we ever had. God definitely came through and he just blessed us a lot, us and our children. And I wasn't holding back, with you. I remember just, buying her stuff, and then it wasn't Christmas at all. There were some days I would just buy you stuff.
Yeah.
Because I want to, and that's not because she did anything. It's because of who she is. My spouse. Like, I want her to feel special. Like, I don't want to just tell you that you're special. I want you to feel special from the actions in which, I do. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't want nobody saying like, "Oh, I gotta buy something to make my spouse feel special."
In that way,
it's not like that. Like, you don't have to do that because everybody's situation is different. If you can, then great. If you can't, then find some other way to make them feel special. Like, it doesn't have to be like materialistic, ways of doing it. In fact, that should be like the last way of doing it. That's just a little bit of extra, on top of how you should be treating them and what you should be saying in the first place.
Yeah.
Keeping the home happy. That starts with communication.
That's the important part.
Yeah.
You always gotta you're supposed to communicate. If you don't communicate, then there's gonna be a problem.
It's gonna be a really big problem.
Yeah.
But I pray and hope that there's people out there. If you like, as I say, you're going through some tough time periods now. Just understand, like we went through that. We went through tough time periods, and if you pray and you put God first, and you just dedicate your marriage to Him, He can fix your issues that you go through. So I just hope that if there's somebody out there struggling right now, that you do that. And just be patient and allow him to do what he's going to do, before you decide to take like any other steps.
Yeah.
Okay. And like I said, we're not going to talk about that in this episode. Like, we want to keep it positive.
Yeah.
Because that other subject, divorce, is not a positive subject at all. In fact, the Bible says that God absolutely hates it. And whenever that time comes to talk about it, we'll talk about why he hates it. Like, it's a reason why. But again, like I said in the beginning of the video here, you get married, stay married. That should be the goal right there.
And if you're having problems, y'all need to just how will I say? If you're having problems, just talk it over. Try to go on little date nights, and that's the important part right there. You need to get on more date nights and stuff. So
yes.
That's how I see it.
Yeah, because a lot of people, they get married and they stop dating. Like, they stop doing everything that caused them to like each other. Like they stop. Like they just let everything get in the way. They let work get in the way. They let their kids get in the way.
Yeah.
They let the fact that they're tired get in the way. Like we don't do that.
Mm-hmm.
Like we go out. You know, dating is different for everybody.
Yeah.
Like we just us being around each other is a date.
Yeah.
You know, going to work out together that's a date.
Going to the gym, that's a date night.
Going to the gym, that's a date.
Day night.
Day, or just going to get a burger. Like we try to do something like that at least a few times out of the week.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we'll go get some food together, or we'll go to some stores together. Just being in the presence of each other.
Yeah.
Is the goal. And we do this so much. Sometimes we gotta pry ourselves away from each other. You know, we were just talking about that recently.
Yeah.
We spend a lot of time together to where we almost don't get anything else done. So we're learning.
Yeah.
Like it's okay for you to go over there and to do something. It's okay.
Yeah.
I still love you. It's I don't dislike you just because you want to do your work. I'm just stay over here. I'm just lonely. I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes I do get a little petty with that.
Yeah, you do. You do definitely do.
Yeah, I do get petty.
Yeah.
The other night I was like, "Oh, so you want some space?"
Yeah, because I want to have my own space in the corner, and then you was on the other side of the couch, and I was like, I want my space.
Yeah, I made a big deal about it.
Yeah, you did until this morning.
I did carry on with it this morning. I woke up this morning and said, I'm going to go to I knew what I was doing too. I said, I'm going to go to the gym and you stay home, because I need to work out by myself.
Yeah.
That's just how we are though. It's okay.
Yeah, it is.
It's all good. But anyway, that's going to do it for this episode. I really, really hope y'all enjoyed this. And that it's a blessing to your heart. That it's a blessing to your marriage. And once again, we're gonna try to keep this as consistent as we can. Any last words?
Oh no, I really do enjoy these podcasts that we try to do. I just gotta get used to it. We gotta keep going, and like I said, be consistent with it. We just need to come up with more topics to talk about.
I think that might be one of the things,
That's one of the things why we don't post up videos, because we don't know what we're gonna talk about. We can always talk about marriage, relationships, but at the same time we can talk about, I don't know, life events if possible, or something. I don't know, whatever comes to our mind.
There's a lot of stuff going on in the world.
Yeah.
We could tackle and just kind of give our thoughts on, and
yeah, we could do something like that.
Just from a Christian perspective, to let people know, our thoughts. So, but hopefully y'all have a great night out there. We will see you all in the next video. God bless you, and y'all have a wonderful day.